It doesn't want to go live. What's going on? Oh, there it goes. I was saying, what's going on? There we go. Go live. Right now it's about the winter storm. But could there be another storm somewhere else? Good question. I'm preparing for the storm that's going to happen here. I just took care of the snowblower, gassed it up. Checked to see if any of the pins were busted. Because that's always a problem. Which I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I'll look for them later. My spare pins. I always do this. Where's my spare pins for the snowblower? And in front of me is such a mess. Why is this game out? Not good. Anyway, let me do the pop-up for this. Good morning. Got the fire going. That fire is going to be going for the next month and a half easy. It is cold. Yesterday was 45. That's the last time I'll see 40s for 2 months. Oh, Tycho. Yeah. It's Tycho. That dog. Oh, give me a fucking break. Sure. Oh, Sweetwater. That's Sweetwater. I bought a piece of equipment. So they're calling me for more business. I gotta hook that up. The sound is gonna sound better. The sound is gonna sound better when I hook it up. What's up? Good morning, James. Good morning, Candace. Oh, you don't even know. I'm gonna talk about the weather. We'll talk about the other storm brewing possibly in the Middle East. There is nothing really coming. I did an experiment this morning before I started going over the weather. I checked out CNN, which I never watched the media. I wanted to see if CNN was covering anything with Iran. It was 3 minutes long, if that. It wasn't the first story. I don't even know what the first story was. Because I wasn't really paying attention. It was the weather. 3 minutes to Iran. They had a person on talking about what they expect to see in Iran. It was nonsense. They didn't even get into like the details of what has been going on in Iran to give background about what led up to this point, what's going on with the reported Alexa, stop, with the reported deaths involved, and possibly hundreds of thousands injured and blinded, and just the conditions in Iran. It was such a joke. This is why I don't watch mainstream media. It was disgusting. It was a joke. Alexa, stop. I couldn't, I just had to, because I woke up, I was checking weather, and I said, let me just be curious and check one. It was a disgrace. And then they went right into the Ukraine-Russia-US meeting. They didn't give it no time on the story of Iran. I'm like, have they been talking about it at all? It was a disgrace. In my opinion, that's a disgrace. That you're not covering what's going on in Iran. What's going on? What, are they waiting for something to happen like I said they would do and then start covering it and the reasonings why it's happening and all that? Or would they just simply try to blame the president getting involved in another conflict and all that, because you know how the media works. I cannot watch mainstream media. I don't care. Anyway, what's going on now? What's up, Genghis? 2 weeks of defreeze. I told you guys to be paying attention to your weather. Even if you live in northern Louisiana, Genghis, which I don't know where he is. This is a serious storm, but it has shifted a little bit more to the north, which means I get 1.5 feet of snow possible. They're saying now, I forgot what the forecast is, but I'm in the 12 to 18 bubble. And possibly 2 feet. I'll get into that in a second. You saw an explanation on exploding trees warnings. Candace, you're too much about this exploding trees thing. It's like somebody that was in chat, Dissolve Google, he actually knew his stuff. He was talking about how that happens when there's moisture in the trees and it develops cracks and splits and it sounds like an explosion. What's up, Mike? Oh, you're going to get it worse than I am, Mike. You're getting 2 feet. Maybe. You're getting 2 feet in the higher elevations. In the Berkshires, you're getting 2 feet. I might get 1.5 feet. It starts Sunday morning early into Monday evening. This is a crazy system. It's going to be bad. I just took care of my snowblower. I'm ready. But all eyes are going to be, and I still don't think anything's happening this weekend. Could. And like some people are saying, it may not happen at all. I think it would be more next weekend in Iran. But they seem to be thinking they're ready now. But where exactly? It should be in the area now. You know, they say it entered the Arabian Sea. The Arabian Sea is big. It could be Eastern Arabian, near India. That doesn't mean it's near the Persian Gulf side of the Arabian Sea. It still has to go across to get to a position. You know, everybody's like, oh my God, the carrier's in the Arabian Sea. Well, where exactly in the Arabian Sea? It could still be off the coast of India in the Arabian Sea. It still has to go west to get closer, to be in range. People are freaking out. I mean, it's like, you think this weekend? Oh, I think you were right. Candace, you were right on the money. You were absolutely right. He is not staying in D.C. He's going to Mar-a-Lago today. If I had to bet money, he's going to Mar-a-Lago today. It would be crazy to stay in D.C. with a 2-foot snowstorm on the way possible. He has to go somewhere where he could be mobile if something were to happen. Because he's going to be snowbound in D.C. That's not good. He's going to Mar-a-Lago because they have a situation room there. A makeshift one, like a backup. He's going to Mar-a-Lago. The money's on it. Candace, I agree. He's going to Mar-a-Lago. I bet money on that too. So, and you know, and think of it this way too. A lot of the focus now for many of us in the United States is this storm in the country. It's going to be all over the news. Would Iran fly under the radar? Knowing that millions and millions of people here in this country are going to be affected by this storm? That's going to get the coverage. Oh, no way. I just went live. This can't be possible. But since we're going to have this...
You have the heat on.
The heat is on. The fire is on, but it just actually went out on me. But yes, I'm live now, Ma. See you later.
Oh my God.
You know what I talk about this live stuff. I keep telling you that. Please. Oh, the fire's going out.
I came here to get some. Where is the little evil?
He's under the bed.
No.
See you later.
Oh, that's so much.
I I just started the fire, so it takes a minute to get it started. But anyway, where was I before I was interrupted?
My God.
Oh yeah. So the majority of the discussion on all these news outlets. Excuse me 1 second.
There's nothing happening here. It's only the mother, and there's no children here or anything like
Okay.
that. It's only
See you later,
an
Momzilla.
adult. An
Go
adult.
go. Have a great morning, Momzilla.
Look, just don't let me start having a bad moment.
Anyway, so
Why have
getting
I
back to what we were
discussing?
discussing here.
Discussing.
I think the main thing, the main story is going to be the weather. And there may be a lot of focus taken off of other things. It would be interesting to see if Iran is hit this weekend, what the media does. Would they flip back and forth? Because you know the main story is the weather. What would the mainstream media do? Would they also, you would think they would cover what's going on in Iran if it happened. I don't watch it, so that would be an interesting thing to see. Are they covering the weather more, which affects people directly in this country? Or would they, oh heck no reason to apologize, Navi. Absolutely no reason to apologize for last night. What I was trying to do was being fair to give a person, the person that was on here yesterday, Mage, in the other chat, he's Iranian, but he lives in Lebanon. And obviously he supports the regime. I am not going to attack anyone. I'm going to let them speak their mind. The person was very respectful. Though, do I agree with it? No. Do many of us in here agree with that? No way. Especially when I hear, the stories coming out from Iran and all of you telling me what's going on. But I just wanted to see from the other side's perspective why they would think it should be important for the regime to stay. I'm trying to be objective. That's not easy in this situation because you know where my heart lies. That's been evident since the beginning of this. And I know all of you in there that are Iranian or Iranian, what you've been going through, and with someone losing their mother, and they know people that have been affected. It's crazy when I watch not Tusi necessarily, but I do watch Tusi. But when Goldie's on, and Goldie's talking about, and Armin is talking about, we had people that were telling us what was going on, and we lost contact with them, fearing that they may be dead. They lost contact. So obviously, it's just horrific what's going on in Iran. But I'm also curious what the defending would be of this regime. Why would you defend it? I'm trying to understand that. How, in a logical, rational sense, which I don't think that exists, why would you support this regime? Why? And I think because they either have family or themselves, and they're connected to the regime, and they're getting money. They're on that side of the regime where they're benefiting. That's the only thing I could think of. Why else would they support the regime? It doesn't make sense to me. Unless they're connected to the regime. Or maybe they have people that are in the IRGC or whatever it is. I just don't understand how you can... Oh, she better not start with me. I just don't understand how people could support what's going on in Iran. I don't, from a logical, rational sense, I don't, it's almost like when somebody does something and you go along with it. But there's always a point where you say, enough's enough. That's no way am I going over that line. Just, no. It'd be different under certain circumstances, but when you start killing people, and it's been going on, this is not new. But when you oppress the people and you're against freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom of expression, freedom of anything, excuse me, freedom to listen to music publicly, freedom at all, and you're with that, why? In the name of Islam? That's, I just don't understand that. And look, and this is not the first time people have been slaughtered and massacred during protests. It's happening not that long ago in Iran. Not like it is going on now. It's just unfathomable what the hell is going on in Iran. And these numbers, I mean, people float these numbers. What is it, 20,000, 30,000? A lot of people think it's 50,000. And hundreds of thousands of wounded. And thousands are blinded, possibly by chemical use. This is like the worst. I've been, around a minute. Witnessed and seen a lot of things going on. In such a short span of time. Because remember, the protests, people are on martial law. They're indoors now. They're scared to death, literally. All of this happened in a short few days at the peak of the protesting, which is not protesting, during the revolt. During the revolt. In such a short period of time, thousands of people were slaughtered, tens of thousands, if not more, injured, going to hospitals, taking the doctors out of the hospital so they wouldn't treat the wounded, and actually killing people that were wounded in the hospital. That is the most inhumane thing I've ever heard. And other people might say, well, look what happened in Gaza and all that. That's, what happened to the civilians, and I say this all the time. I don't care. The innocent children of Gaza, that's 40% of the population of Gaza, are the ones that are the victims, and their parents, whatever. I'm not getting into the political thing. Israel, this, that. No. I'm just talking about the sheer sadness and horrific conditions that cannot be denied. Thousands and thousands and thousands of children are affected in Gaza. Remember, Gaza does make up of 40 to 50% of children. Forget about the parents in this. The children suffer. Okay, so I've seen suffering. But I have not, I wasn't alive during World War II and all these other times, obviously. I have never seen such slaughter and massacre in such a short period of time like what happened in Iran. And it's still going on. Anybody that comes out in the street, they'll shoot them. Indiscriminately, shoot them. Going house to house. These people are absolutely living under absolute terror right now. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And, the United States, thank God, is going to possibly, hopefully, take action. Where is everybody else? Where's the European Union? Where are our allies? Is nobody else concerned about what's going on? Look at the bullshit that happened in the UK last week. And there's like Goldie and Tusi have been showing, look at the amazing people protesting all around the world. The people, not the governments, the people. In Canada, here in the United States, elsewhere, UK. I don't know about France, but you could see, even in other countries, you could see the support of the Iranian people. By the people. Not the governments, but by the people. Yes, like Tusi mentioned yesterday, the European Parliament has now labeled and branded the IRGC a terrorist organization. And there was some against it. Like, what? Who? Who in their right mind? And I gotta say, when you say we don't want no outside interference, what are they doing? They're bringing in proxy people from all over. And let's not forget, Arabs being brought in on the streets of Iran to terrorize the Iranian people. You're bringing outside Arabs into the country. Oh, that shit isn't fucking flying with me either. They should not be terrorizing the Iranian people. Iran is not an Arab country. Now, obviously, there's going to be some element, like any other country, there's diversity somewhat, and you're going to have certain people. I'm not saying there's none there, but this shit is not flying. And it gets you upset. It gets me upset. Hold on, I gotta go live on TikTok. I knew as soon as I go live, Momzilla comes in. It's incredible. The timing is amazing. Let me see if anybody's saying anything. More of the weather because it takes the eyes. Yes, that's what I was saying. Who said that? Sound beats. Yes, that's why I was making that point. I agree. Because we don't want our revolution go out of... I honestly think you don't... Look, do you think the president is sending this whole... like he said, the armada, the fleet, all these assets as a bluff? Do you think? Or to apply incredible pressure on the regime? I am telling you, he's probably behind the scenes giving Iran an ultimatum. There is no diplomacy. If you think it's like some kind of normal diplomacy, he's giving them a fucking ultimatum. If you don't do with this, you're done. No more games. No more playing around. That's it. We're done with that. We're way beyond that. It's not like, yeah, he's trying to work out some kind of a deal. Yeah, the deal is our deal. If you don't take it, you're done. And believe me, there's a lot on that table. Release the political prisoners immediately. No executions. Just think about Iran's response to this. Handing over all the enriched uranium, because they do have, and whatever else. Oh, the missiles. Are you kidding me? They just tested an ICBM. You're going to tell them not to stop creating ICBMs or missiles? They're not going to agree to that. That's their defense. They're not going to agree to that. There's no way. And if you believe they're going to agree to it, then you're a fool. To even trust them that they would. Because behind the scenes, they are. Just like a lot of people said, oh, they got all the nuclear plants. Even the Atomic Energy said that is not everything they have. They have unknown locations where they can have enriched uranium. Everybody was like, oh, we destroyed their nuclear program. No, we didn't. We cannot confirm that. Because even the IAEA said there are other locations we have no access to and we don't know what's going on there. And the likelihood is they have enriched uranium and they're developing stuff there. But people didn't hear that part. They only heard what they wanted to hear. Yeah! We destroyed. Yeah, we hit some facilities, yes. But that wasn't all of it. To be honest, go look it up yourself. Look up the Atomic Energy investigation that happened prior to Midnight Hammer, and you will see. They have no accounts to other locations what they may have. They have other locations. Iran has other locations. And it doesn't even mean that they need to make a nuclear bomb. They can make a dirty bomb. It doesn't have to be a nuclear bomb. It could be a dirty bomb. So people need to chill out with that. We wiped out their nuclear program, because that's not the case. Go, like I said, don't take my word for it. Read the IAEA report prior to what happened, Midnight Hammer, and you'll see what they reported. I wish I could pull up the report, but it'd be a pain in the butt to find it. Let me see what everybody's writing. What's up, Mad Million? Good to see you. Everybody's silent. BB's not going to say anything because he's going to let the president take the lead. He's more concerned about if this happens, when it happens, to protect the Israeli people. That's his main thing. Bibi will talk. Netanyahu will make a statement if they're attacked, and then it's going to be unleash everything against Iran. And he's not. See, I said this yesterday. You could hit IRGC targets. You could hit command centers. But how are you going to get rid of those fuckers that are on the street terrorizing the Iranian people? It's in populated areas. How do you hit the headquarters of the police or hit the place, all these locations within cities without harming innocent civilians? You think we're going to put boots on the ground? I don't think so. Could you imagine? So that's a problem. That is a major problem. How are we going to eliminate, or how are the people going to fight a resistance against those people that are keeping martial law in place? That's a major issue. You can hit the IRGC bases, take out their missiles and all this stuff, but how do you remove the cancer from the streets of these cities and places in Iran? The ones that are terrorizing the people right now. How do you get rid of that? You see what, I don't want to use what other countries do. They have to go actually into the cities, block by block, clearing it out. You think we're going to do that? Or by some hopeful prayer, the Iranian army, which is separate from the IRGC, does that and helps the people. Knowing that the IRGC is about to collapse and fall, they turn and they help the people. That's the only scenario that I see that could work here. That the Iranian army, which is separate from the IRGC, turns and supports the people, clears out the streets while we take out the IRGC. I don't know. This is going to be really complicated. Iran is a very, very large country. People don't realize how big Iran is, I think. It's a very large country. And this shit's going to take time. Not days. It's going to take months. Months. If, things go down that way. Let me see. The European Union has discussed designating. They did, Navi, as a terrorist organization, but they did not officially done so because they voted for it. It did come out. Even Tusi was talking about it, I think, yesterday. The European Parliament did label them as a terrorist organization. It happened, I think, yesterday or the day before. Officially, they voted on other stuff that didn't go through. We could look that up. I'm sure they did. But it's still, so what? Sanctions? Are they actually going to help? The UK will help us logistically. Like with tankers. They'll help. The UK will help us. They're not going to get directly involved in any attack. Excuse me. They're going to leave that to us. But they will help us logistically. Obviously they are letting us use Diego Garcia. That is a British territory. Let's just be clear that. And I'm sure they would you let us use the other bases too in the area, like the one in Cyprus. Will they get directly involved in a military kinetic strike? No. But they will help us logistically. They will. They got their own problems. It's self-inflicted, what's going on in the UK. That's on them completely. See, the European Union has called the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps to be designated as a terrorist organization due to its involvement in human rights violations and suppression of protests in Iran. Hold on. They may have not officially. They just condemned it. Hold on. I gotta go to recent. I believe Tusi said that yesterday too. And today, check this out. I mean, this is just cray shit. This is crazy, I'm telling you. It's just... Iranian prosecutor denies Trump's claim that 800 prisoners were spared execution. This is today. This came out today. He called his repeated claims that he halted the hanging of 800 detainees completely false. And look at these numbers. That's insane. This claim is completely false. No such number exists, nor has the judiciary made any such decision. This guy said. The foreign minister may have offered that figure to Trump. He had a direct line to Witkoff, and they had negotiations. Enemies of God, yes. Anybody would charge with as enemies of God could be sentenced to death. That charge carries the death penalty. So, I mean, they're telling him right to his face. Yeah, I remember this guy, the propagandist. Look at this. Meanwhile, Mohammed Javad Haji Ali Akbari, the Friday prayer leader in Tehran, mocked Trump as a yellow-faced, yellow-haired, and disgraced man who's like a dog that only barks. That foolish man, this is a quote, that foolish man has resorted to threatening the nation, especially over what he said about Iran's leader. If any harm were to occur, all your interests and bases in the region would become clear and precise targets of Iranian forces. Another quote. This was Thursday. The resolution called for the release of those detained and urged the European Council to designate. This is the European Parliament resolution that was adopted Thursday. This is the one yesterday. The resolution called for the release of those detained and urged the European Council to designate. So they haven't officially designated. They called to designate Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, which is key in putting down the nationwide press, as a terrorist organization. So they're calling for it, but they haven't actually approved and voted for it. And forget about this. Are you kidding me? This number? Are you just joking? Come on, stop it. Stop it. That number. 4,000. It's way higher than that. I mean, come on. So there's a lot of stuff out there. Okay, hold on. Let me read what you guys are writing. Ignore the man behind the curtain. Look over here. Weather and I agree, Candace. Weather and Greenland are diversions. I agree. That's what I said at the beginning. That's a diversionary tactic. The focus is going to be Iran. I'm telling you. Everybody's going to be talking about the weather and everything else, but meanwhile, it could happen this weekend. It could. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying it could. Member states like the France, France, Navi, France, Italy, and Spain are against it. I saw that a few days ago. The IRGC is already considered a terrorist group by countries like the United States and Canada. Good morning, Fringe. Oh my God, I'm freezing right now and my fire is struggling. This remains a divisive topic in Europe with concerns about its broader implications, of course. And you got to remember, they got to worry about what's going on in their countries like France and the UK because of what they have to deal with. And it's happened in their countries before with extremists, terrorists in their countries. They're worried about that. They're trying to play some kind of fine line thing here, walking a very, very narrow path here. Because they know that they got to deal with that element inside their country. That's why. Regime is like a skeleton. You broke one apart, the other breaks one by one. RAF fighters jets flown out to Med area, I believe. Yes. And Jordan is getting loaded with us. I've been saying that for a few days. And then other people start talking about it. I'm like, my temperature right now is actually not bad. It's 32. Forget about by tomorrow it'll be 15. And 2 feet of snow. Well, 1.5 feet they're predicting here. Starting early Sunday morning to Monday afternoon. It's going to be a nutty storm for a lot of people. We're going to get into the weather in a second. Good morning to you, Witch Moon. I think 200,000 dead. My thoughts, it's cruel to say. It is. I don't know where they're getting these low numbers. I mean, didn't the regime admit to like thousands, 5,000, 3,000? What did the regime say? Rioters. They called them rioters that are unalived. What was their number? 3,000? 5,000? And that's the regime saying that. Minus 25? Oh my God. So there's a lot. Again, how do we really know? Well, listen to the people from within Iran and them telling you. You're telling me that we don't have people on the ground with intelligence. We don't have intelligence that we can get from Israel. Netanyahu calls the president. Our agents on the ground are saying, yes, it can be confirmed that there are thousands and thousands of people being slaughtered and massacred. You're telling me they have nothing. No credible intelligence coming from inside the country. None. Zero. Really? Like we don't have people inside that can give us information? Are we to believe that? None? Zero? Bullshit. We have to know what's going on there. We have to know. We have to. 18, it's minus 20 Celsius. Alexa, what is negative 20 Celsius to Fahrenheit?
Negative 20 degrees Celsius equals minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow, minus 4 Fahrenheit. That's cold. We got 2 feet of snow here, Bill, but not the kind you make into snowmen or snowballs. Yeah, we're going to get the light fluffy stuff here too because it's going to be so cold. Which makes it easier to use the snowblower. You can move it with a leaf blower, she said. She got 2 feet of snow in Canada. Tomorrow we have 3 feet of snow, you guys, and I'm complaining. We don't have to do that. We have tech that can see in all conditions. That too, we can see. We can see from above. We can see with drones or whatever. I don't know if there's any real drones flying over Iran right now from us, but I'm sure we know. Problem is getting over what you want to see. Keith comes out of nowhere. Have I seen any Bigfoot? I've never seen a Bigfoot. I may have heard one in 2015 or 16. That's a story for another day, not today. But I think I experienced something with other investigators that I was like, what the hell was that? I never heard anything like that in my life, and I was freaking out. That was a whole experience in somewhere nearby. That was bizarre. What kind of strike do you expect? All out bloody hell, heavy, constant barrage. It would be huge. It's not going to be small. In my opinion, it's going to be nonstop for hours. If not, it's going to continue for days. This is not going to be a small hit. It's going to be, because they got to try to do whatever they can to prevent a counter hitting our bases, but really Israel. They're going to do everything they can to decapitate them. They have to, because you're trying to prevent a counter. So they're going to have to light up everything they see to prevent a retaliation. They're going to. It can't be just one strike. It's going to have to be numerous, constant barrage. It's got to be constant to eliminate as much as possible. Makes sense. Does it not? Are you just going to... If he wanted to strike once, he would have did it last week with the limited capability that we had. Another thing to keep an eye on is that Persian Gulf. Mines. What they might do. We do have ships there, you know, in the Persian Gulf. Then they can be vulnerable. Wolf behavior is changing quickly around the globe. I don't know about tonight. Now, we got to wait for the markets to close, so nothing is going to happen. And I agree with some of the comments in the past few weeks. Nothing's going to happen until those markets close. So that would be 4 o'clock Eastern. That would be 12:30 a.m. Iran time. Or would they wait for tomorrow into Sunday morning Iran time, late night, say 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m.? Would they wait till then, if at all, if it even happened this weekend? Would they prefer to wait till tomorrow? Not tonight. Because right now, it's almost darkness in Iran. But they're not going to do anything while the markets are open. I'm convinced of that. But would they wait for tomorrow, Sunday morning, local Iranian time, which is tomorrow afternoon here? I mean, do you guys think it would happen tonight or tomorrow? Or do you think it might happen next week? Or do you think it may not happen at all? Because there are people out there that think this is just a bluff to pressure the regime to agree to something. There are a lot of people believe it. I've seen it. Posts like, this is all a bluff, blah, blah, blah. What else? I get 3 snow days a year, so I'm ready for it. After this Iran fiasco, I would like to see more of the UFO and NHI topic, as you have a lot of information on this stuff. I appreciate it. I can tell you this on that, and I'm not joking, and I can bring somebody on here, but we're not going to talk about it, and he will tell you. I'm afraid to even say what I'm going to say. He spoke to someone that's currently in Congress directly and said that we have technology that is not from here. A person that's in Congress right now told him in a private conversation during dinner together. This was about 2 years ago. And it had to do, and I try to give hints, and I know people get pissed. I know Lorraine gets pissed, but I can't say it. It was connected to what was reported by a pilot of a red or orange sphere. And it was confronted in his F-18 Hornet, Super Hornet, in the Atlantic. That same thing that pilot's seen is similar to what this person's seen. That's in Congress. I don't know if you heard Luna. I think it was Luna. I'm pretty sure it was Luna, said that she totally believes there's sufficient evidence about interdimensional, but she said she couldn't say anything because she would get in trouble. So there's a lot of that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. I bet there is an influx of UAPs now. You're right. That's possible, Lorraine. We might break out toys that nobody's ever seen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. You never know. There might be stuff that's... Remember in Venezuela, there were reports of a sonic type of weapon that pretty much paralyzed the guards in Venezuela. And he said, we have stuff that nobody's aware of. And obviously we do. So do other countries. They just never have, exposed it, shown it. It's like the ace, the cards. You don't show that card until you absolutely need to show that card. Do you think the U.S... Wait, hold on. I'm trying to get to everybody's stuff. What's the thing buzzing around Persian Gulf? 10,000 feet. Let me see what you're looking at. Because there's been a lot of drones. The MQ-4C Triton drone's been flying around. There's still a lot of air traffic going on, obviously. If this starts to go over Iraq, and definitely over Iran, and definitely from Iran to Israel and in between, then you know something's about to go down. You can see it's getting dark now. They're completely... I think Iran right now is completely dark. You could see the lines of the sunlight. See it? You see it? Right here. So it looks like it's about nightfall here now. But, and you're not going to see what you're not supposed to see on here. So look at all the activity. There are 3. The Poseidon, that's to be expected. This is a tanker. Yep. Is this another tanker? What is that? Who is this? Ilyushin. What flag is that under? Armenia. I've never seen that. You got a UK. By the way, this is where the US base is. Right here. That's got to be a C-17. No, similar. It's an Atlas. These are some big planes coming in. The UAF. UAE. This has been going on forever. It's either a Typhoon or a... Let me see. Yeah, it's a Typhoon. So I'm not seeing the drone. But that doesn't mean it's not there. We're just not seeing it. This is flying in really close to Iranian airspace, if that's accurate. I mean, I don't think so. That's flying super close to Iranian airspace, if this is true. But you see how the blue line fades out? That doesn't mean it's there. But look what the flight radar is showing, that this Poseidon is like really close to Iran. I don't think so. Let me see what else you guys are saying. I will definitely say hello to Mom. Fringe. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let me read what you guys are writing. What is that? Okay. Do you think U.S. would have bases in Iran once they're gone? That would be up. That would be up to the Iranian government to, I probably think so, to create some kind of deterrence. I think that Iran would have a U.S. base there. I do, honestly, in the future. Not in the near future, but down the line, a couple of years maybe. You know, that's all speculation, but I would think that that's a possibility. I am worried. Wow, any leaks? How's that energy? I don't know what you mean by that, Ali. I'm worried about soldiers there for just 2 years to get passports. But remember, they're going to hit IRG places where usual soldiers won't go. Tusi's saying there's been a lot of defections. Apparently, internet getting online in northern parts, email is working. Really? It's marked with the red X, Andy says. Well, I'm not seeing anything on here, on Flight Radar. That doesn't mean it does not happen. You might be using some other type of software application. Doesn't mean. And you can see how the darkness is now set in Iran. The night has begun. Again, I don't think anything's going to happen, if at all, until the markets close. And I honestly don't think anything's going to happen tonight, if at all. It might happen tomorrow night. It could happen. I'm not saying. But if it may even happen next week. We just don't know. We all have to wait and see. But you know, it is freezing in here. I got to get this fire going. We may just have to wait and just like see how this goes. You know, tonight I'm going to be watching Flight Radar, because Flight Radar will indicate once we see the air traffic being diverted. That could indicate, like we saw it happen live here a week ago. We actually witnessed it. How they were clearing the airspace. We were live, and we witnessed it. And then I seen the 6 tankers take off consecutively at a cutter, and I was like, oh shit. I never saw that one before. So it kind of looked like something was going down, but then it didn't, for whatever reasons. But we seen it. We actually seen it, like how it was developing, because they're not going to allow civilian aircraft to get anywhere near here. They're not going to risk that. So you'll start to see diversions. They'll go around. And down here, they'll go around. But they sure as heck are not going to go flying through Iraq. And you'll see all this air traffic start to cease in Iran. They're going to close their airspace. And they're going to close the airspace in Jordan. Forget about Syria. Iraq. This is all going to get cleared out. Obviously, Israel, Jordan. This is all going to clear out. And then, you know, shit might be going down, even though we may not get confirmation of it going down. But this could indicate something's about to go down. So we need to watch this for the next few days. Because we're not going to get tipped. Now, Sean said that the internet is coming back in northern Iran. You might start seeing video on X or other social media posts of people taking images of things happening in Iran, like distant flashes in the sky or explosions and all that. You might start seeing that coming from within the country. And I have a feeling, just a feeling, that they're going to find a way so that the internet comes back completely. If this happens, there's going to be all kinds of cyber stuff going on. There's going to be a lot going on all at once. If I'm just, of course, I'm assuming, hypothesizing, I'm speculating. Like everybody else is speculating too. But it makes sense that so many things are going to happen at the same time. Coordinated. Right? Does it not make sense? What's up, Sep? And Sep will be joining me if and when the proverbial thing hits the fan. I'm going to have Sep join me on Teams. And we're going to be monitoring it in real time. So, Sep, you better get rest, whatever happens, because you know it's going to happen at night in Iran, which means it would happen probably after midnight, I'm guessing. Local time. So that's approximately 3:30 in the afternoon for me. Yes, 3:30 in the afternoon for me, Eastern. We need to pay attention. Now, fortunately, 3:30 in the afternoon is early for me, so it's not like I got to stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning if something happens. But we need to pay attention. And I will message you, and you message me, Sep, on Teams. If you hear anything, I'll message you like, dude, weird stuff is going on flight radar. I'm live. Come hang out. Like that. I'll message you. I actually I have to work on getting my passport renewed. I got to go through that stuff now. Just in case. I'm making NPV VPN server for my friends in Iran. One of them has internet now. That is amazing that you're doing that. And you should try to, I wish I could help people like that. That's awesome that you're doing that for the people in Iran. Trying to get them internet access. That's amazing that you're doing that. I have 4 cases of, I can't read that, Red Bull. Oh my God, he's got 4 cases of Red Bull ready to go. Oh my gosh. I got plenty of coffee. I'm good. The Red Bull gets me too shaky, like jittery. I tried one a few weeks ago. I was like, oh my gosh. It was a little much. If I were you, I would plan my travel now. Iran is going to be free soon. Well, I got to get my passport. I got to go to the post office, go through the whole process. That's where it's done. Take the picture. It costs like $100 something to get it done, processed. Doesn't take that long. Especially when you have a real ID, it kind of helps the process a little bit. Some people don't even have their real ID, but that's a whole different topic. I had mine before. It was a big deal. When they first announced real ID here in the States, I got it right away. And it wasn't an easy process, by the way, because I had to redo the eye test. I had to redo my license, period. It wasn't just exchanging it from that license to another. No, it was like getting your license all over again. They made me take the eye test. They made me you have a license, but I had to take the eye test over, go through that process to get the other ID. I was like, oh shit. I thought it'd be simple, just like, okay, I want to switch this one for this one. Oh, and I had to bring all kinds of documents. Proof of residence, a utility bill, all kinds of goodies to get the real ID. It wasn't that simple. I had to bring documents with me. Even though I had a license, didn't matter. They still wanted documents. So it's a process. It was for me a few years ago. I think I did it in like 2019. I could look at my license. I think I did it in 2019. Yeah, I got my coffee. It's probably cold by now. I'm not a fan of cold coffee. Like lattes and stuff. I'm not a fan. I like my coffee hot. What's going on now? When Trump is... We need to have time when Trump is out of D.C. That's another thing to monitor today. Keep an eye on Trump's travels. I can't imagine him staying in D.C. I just can't. He's got to be going to Mar-a-Lago. He has to be going to Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to check his Truth Social. And we got to check the weather, because the weather's the story too. Okay, he just posted 3 hours ago. Record cold wave expected to hit 40 states. Rarely seen anything like it before. Oh. He's bringing this up regarding global warming. That's why he put it. I thought he was going to actually say, please take precautions and all that, but it went a different way. I'm not seeing anything. Nothing about Iran. Nothing. I'm not expecting it either. Okay. We're done with that for a minute. We need to focus on the weather. Because it's... The temperatures are going to drop. I mean, it's going to be bad for a lot of people. This cold air, I mean, this storm is sweeping across the country. And then it's going to take a turn toward us. And this is a major, major concern for many of us. I mean, this is going to be brutal. I want to see where this low pressure is for me. It's in here now. Right there. How close is this going to be? See, that's the worst case. It's a lot closer than they predicted earlier in the week. This is way closer. It's not as offshore as they predicted. This is going to bring a lot of snow in. That's a typical nor'easter track. So we're going to get pummeled. And this ice storm down south, and it's just going to be bad for so many people. Look at that cold air driving down. I'm on a winter storm watch, 8 to 14 inches with locally higher amounts. Along the coast, like New York City, it could change to sleet, not here. Limiting accumulations to the lower end. Higher totals expected in the interior where I am. So from late Saturday night to Monday afternoon. The heaviest snow is likely to occur Sunday morning into Sunday evening. So this is going to be a foot to at least a foot to a foot and a half of snow here. What's up, Astro? Why? Okay, that's a good point. That's the Euro model. I don't use the American model. I'm not a fan of the American at all, ever. I mean, that's true, though. I'll just take a look. Let's see what the American... I don't use the American. The American has it even closer. And slower. Almost identical. It's just the timing is different. It's almost identical to the Euro now. It always catches up. The American always catches up like a day or two out. It always catches up. Always. The American catches up to the Euro, not the other way around. So that's why I like the Euro. But let's see what they're saying. Oh my God, we're gonna get buried. See, I'm right in the... I'm not in New York City. I'm in this blue. I'm right in there. 12 to 18 inches. I'm in this blue, darker blue area. I'm up here. So we're going to get it. We're going to get it. There's the timeline. 1 a.m. Oh, this is going to be brutal. And then the Arctic air sinks to the majority of the country. Friday night, you could see the ice. Rain to ice, snow, snow. Look at this ice. Look at this large swath of ice. There's going to be such bad widespread power outages, damage from this. This is going to be brutal for these people. Brutal. Now, if you live in an immediate coastline, that's the, the warmer air off the Atlantic is going to protect it a little bit. But this cold air is going to sink. So they're predicting more rain along the immediate coastline and down here in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Now we're going to get it. We're going to get it. And there it is, 12 to 18. New York City, they're saying 6 to 12. Because it could turn to sleet. Oh yeah, forgot about the flight cancellations. That's going to be all over the place. But I want to see this other one about the ice. Ice storm. 45 minutes ago. Now I got 2 winter storm watches. There's going to be a warning soon. Look at this. A massive ice storm stretching for 1,800 miles in over a dozen states. Oh my God. Look at that. Severe. So if you live in these areas, you really, because ice is worse than snow. They rather have snow than ice. I would. Look at this. Some of the power outages associated primarily with a buildup of ice affecting utility customers will last a few days or more, meaning many of the same population will be without heat as the Arctic air charges in behind the storm, behind it. It's going to come down. About 60 million people experience some icing conditions, with potentially 1 million without power for an extended time. Oh my God. Wow. This is bad. And then the cold air is going to come right behind it, really cold. And there it is. 15 to 30 degrees below historical averages. Historical. It's going to get super cold for many of these areas. They're going to experience cold like they've never experienced it. Historical averages, 15 to 30. The Carolinas, Georgia, all down here, South Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, etc., Tennessee, on and on. This whole area is going to experience cold like they have never experienced. Right here. Next week. That's just crazy. And you could see it on Windy. If we go to the temperature map. Oh boy, here we go. Look at this cold air coming down. This is behind the storm now. The storm is here.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's going to be bad. I'm already preparing.
I'm calling my sister. I don't know. Nobody picks up, so I
Look at these single digits. Look how far this cold air comes down. It's crazy.
Let me see.
No, you can't. You won't be able to, Ma. You don't understand the map.
No, yeah, I know. I don't know nothing all the time with you anyway.
Look at these temperatures. Now that's 1 a.m. So it's always colder at night. Let's go to 1 p.m. It'll be in the 30s in the Carolinas and Georgia. In the 40s and 30s here.
This is going to be bad.
And this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Other people, please.
And you can see the cold air retreated. But watch what happens next weekend. It's back. '20s. That's at 5 a.m. though. 20s. 30, 20s. Even on the shore. 32, 28. Myrtle Beach is going to be below freezing. This is just crazy temperatures. Crazy. And this is next weekend. In the 20s at noon. So this cold air is going to be reinforced. Myrtle Beach will be 32 degrees next Sunday projected at noon. 32, Myrtle Beach. 30s, below freezing in some areas here. Look at this. This is cray-cray. So they're going to experience cold like they've probably haven't experienced in a long time, a lot of people. So don't think that this is going away. You might get a little reprieve because there might be a flow coming in from the Gulf, but that's going to go bye-bye because more cold air is coming down. So prepare for an extended period of time of cold air in these areas that you're not used to having. Prepare. Marco says, we have been in the 70s and 60s all week, thank God, but dropping tomorrow. Yeah, everybody's dropping tomorrow. Tomorrow, right now it's 34 here. It'll be 15 the high tomorrow. So, yeah, they said it's going to be, Marco, they said it's going to be 15 to 30 degrees below historical average. Historical temperatures, I mean. 15 to 30 degrees below historical temperatures. A lot of people have never experienced that.
Do they have any coats too to wear?
That's a whole different question, Ma.
Yeah, but still, how can these people...
So, again, people need to prepare for this storm. It's not a joke. Because it's not about just the ice, and that's severe. That's horrific. It's not just about the snow. It's about the cold that's going to be reinforced behind it. And if you're not prepared for that cold, you need to be. And you're running really out of time. Because it's coming. And...
I could send a package with the...
And like I said, I'm trying to do this well. This is February. Now, I don't trust models too far out, so I'm not taking too much into worth. But this is predicted for next Monday, 10 days from now. Look at the model showing the temperature map. And you got to wait for this flow to start changing, which it's gonna. You're starting to get the warmer air flowing up to push this out. Get this out of here. But for us up here, it'll stick around for a little longer.
Yeah, but there's too much...
But see it? See the warm air coming in from the west? This has to push out. And it's starting to get better here now, in a week or so. And that cold just does not want to retreat. For me, it won't happen until like mid-February. Because of these reinforcing shots. Look at this. Look at this Arctic air dipping down for us up here in the Northeast, New England. And here. The plains, Ohio Valley. This is locked. But you guys should get a break in a week down here. What you really need is a high pressure to develop somewhere here to bring this warm air in this direction instead of coming from the north. That's what you need. But luckily, that warm air coming in from the west is going to spread across to the east. That's the good part. But going back to now, that cold air is coming down. Look at this. Then it bumps up slightly, but the winds are coming out of the north. It's driving it down. And then look at that. It's covering almost the entire country, most of it.
You don't have a cigarette?
No, it's covering most of the country. You know, of course, extreme Southern California along the coast, but look at this. It's almost the entire country. Yeah, Arizona, maybe a little bit, not even. Nevada, not even. Barely Arizona, Southern Cal. But look at the country. It's completely covered in this cold air. This is Tuesday. And you pick a temperature. Look at that. The Panhandle. I mean, this is how far down this cold air is coming down. I'm going to get a few, Mom. You need to go because I can't stream live.
Where I'm going to go? To outside?
No, but go over there.
Come on.
I'm live. Please don't do this.
I'm
I ask you all the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Just do that and that's it. And I'll disappear.
All right, Mom.
Oh, my God, I can't
Unprofessional.
believe this. What did you do here?
I gave you a
Something
cigarette.
here?
Yeah. Anyway, so you could see how this is going to affect the country. You could see it. It's not like whatever you get falling on the ground, if it's ice or snow, expect it to stick around. It's going to be very difficult for them to clear the highways, the roads, power line issues, power outages. It's going to take time. Because that may not melt. In some areas it will, because your temperatures will go above freezing. A lot of places it won't. And a lot of these southern states are not equipped to deal with this. They're just not. So take that into consideration. You may be in a situation for at least a few days. So let me read now. Yeah, Marco, it's crazy. It is crazy, this cold Arctic air that's coming down. Witch Moon says, I'm hunkered down totally, would rather snow than ice, but normally we get the ice. We are ready. Good. Minnesota's been extremely cold. It's been extremely cold up there. Navi. After 20, I bet most people in these parts are ready. I hope so. You're right. I hope you're right, Witch Moon. Navi says it's 5 p.m. there and it's minus 30. I'm assuming that's Celsius. Or is it? Have you a generator just in case? I have two. I have a really big one. But I'm not going to have power issues here. It's snow. It's the ice. The power lines. Because it's probably going to be a little windy. A lot of the snow, it's so fluffy and light. Like Lorraine mentioned, it's like powder. It blows off the trees. It blows off the wires. It's not that heavy, wet snow. It's that dry, powdery stuff. Which, thank God it is, because it makes it easier for me to remove it with the snowblower. Because when the snowblower is running and the chute, it gets clogged if it's a wetter snow. Then I got to clean the chute out all the time. When it's this fluffy stuff, it's actually really, I won't say easy. It's a lot easier to remove it when it's like that. So that's a good thing, because it's going to be 15 degrees here. It's not going to be wet snow. The lines, here the open more spots for warming and streets for people who want to get bus service. The lines for propane are insane. We don't have much snow in Vienna, but the streets are frozen and everything is covered in very thick sheets of ice. I haven't seen this in 10 years. Look at the Snowmageddon that Fringe told me about and Astro in Russia. I've never seen that in my life. The snowdrifts were stories high. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And that was not AI, that was not fake, that was real. That's unbelievable. That was unbelievable. I never seen anything like that. It looked like something out of a movie. The snowdrifts in Russia. Did you guys see that? Bill, look out for meltwater running down your driveway. Ain't nothing melting here, Julian, for a month. It's going to be below freezing for like 2 weeks here. It's not even a joke. It's sick. And that's why I'm preparing. Well, I am prepared now. This is not even funny. And my fire's going out. I got to get it going. Thank God I got plenty of wood. Supplies. My fire's going out. All right, it's going again. I have a delivery of food coming tomorrow and supplies. So just take a look. This is my local forecast. It is so ridiculous how bad it is. haven't seen this in 7 to 8 years, at least. It's been a long time. A long time. We've had above normal temperature winters. This is the way it used to be. What's happening with these big storms, this is the way it used to be. We always say that up here. This is the year. This is the year. Well, this is the year. We're still way below snow normal averages, but we're going to catch up on this one. Oh yeah, we're going to catch up. We normally have like annually in our winters like 37 inches. We've had about 9 so far. This one's going to definitely bring it up and get it closer to normal. And we still got a little winter to go. So it ain't over. But we're still not there. Not to our normal averages. We're not even close. But this one's going to make a dent. If we get 18 plus, say, 9, that brings it close. Look at the temperatures now. 17, 13, and the winter storm watch, it's saying 8 to 14. We're going to get a lot more than that. We're probably going to get 2 feet. 10 to 15 inches. They increased it. It was 8 to 14 an hour ago. Now it's 10 to 15. Now it's 10 to 15. They just boosted it. Ain't that something? Literally, within the last hour, they just boosted it up to 10 to 15. An hour ago it was 8 to 14. Now it's 10 to 15. They're increasing the numbers. The exact track of the storm could bring variations in snow totals. Snow totals around a foot. But look at the temperatures. 23, 19, 20, 18, 17, 24, 27, 27. And this is already into next week, February. 27, finally 32, but that's still freezing. Oh, there's a 35. Back down to 29, 29, 30, 28, 28, 29, 30. It ain't melting any freaking time soon. This shit is sticking around. So I don't have to worry about water coming down the driveway, like Julian said, which it is like a river. Not for a month. This shit is not going anywhere. It ain't melting. The sun isn't going to help this time of year much. So if I'm telling you guys down south to prepare for the cold, the folks up here in the Northeast and New England better be ready. Ohio Valley, points north, you better be ready for the cold for at least a few weeks. This isn't a joke. That Arctic flow, it's all Canada's fault. We know that. It's all Canada's fault. Oh, Tusi's going to be online? So this is what I'm going to do. What is Tusi talking about today? Because he talks about a lot of stuff that goes on in the UK as well. Let me go see what Tusi's going to talk about. Because I may stop and watch Tusi. I enjoy watching Tusi. Let me see. Tusi, where are you? I'm subscribed. Tusi TV. Let's see. You guys, if you have never seen Tusi TV or Goldie. Now, Goldie and Armin, they go on for hours. And they cover what Tusi's showing. Which is pretty cool that they work together like that. Upcoming. So this is what Tusi's going to be discussing. I'm just going to show it on the screen. He's got people in the chat already. Khamenei disappears. Live, China helps IRGC fight U.S. military in Iran. Khamenei disappears. We know that China and even Russia has been sending in planes constantly to help support the regime. We know that. That's not, that's been going on for some time now. And I'm not just saying like in the last few weeks. They've been doing that for a long time. We know that. But this interesting part, Khamenei disappears. He's not in his bunker anymore. Where is he? Where do they got him now? So yeah, Tusi TV on Tuba the U. blame Manitoba and Ontario. You don't want nothing to do with Alberta, right? It's not British Columbia, right? It's not any points to the west. It's more on the other side from Canada. And it is. It's coming from the central part of Canada, coming down. That's how it's driving down to the south here. Look at his face. Oh my God. It looks like, you know who's annoying to look at? That guy, that general that's in charge, that Tusi calls Mr. Potato Head. That guy just annoys me. And the propagandist that's always on their TV, and you see him on Tuba the U on some programs, I can't stand that dude either. I really can't stomach that dude. I don't know his name, but you know who I'm talking about, right? Don't blame Canada, Navi. I mean, it's almost like South Park. Blame Canada with the weather. Oh my God. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do, because tonight might be a long night. Tonight might be a long night. I'm going to be monitoring flight radar. I'm going to be monitoring everything just in case. So about 4 o'clock, maybe 3:30, I'll come back. But right now, I'm getting off. I'm going to go watch Tusi. Because I can't share it here, because no way. That's Tusi's deal, not my deal. I ain't stealing his thunder. Let's go watch Tusi, like I'm about to do. So, to everybody that's watching on all the platforms, have a great rest of your afternoon. I'll be back later on. I'm gonna, like I said, go watch Tusi on my TV and support what he's doing, support what Goldie and Amin are doing. Even though I know there's stuff out there that people say, I support what they're doing, putting the information out to the public, because the mainstream media, like I said, for the first time this morning, I did an experiment. I went to CNN at 9 a.m. this morning just to see. Well, I wasn't surprised. They talked about the weather first, and I was saying, when are they going to talk about Iran? It was 3 minutes, if that, of Iran. 3 minutes. That's it. I was like, typical. Typical. I expected nothing less. Or actually, I expected nothing more from the mainstream media. That's why it's important that these people are doing what they do, Tusi and Goldie and Amin, because at least they're putting stuff out there. And they're keeping people informed. That's important. You know, like anything else, you may nitpick how you disagree with them on certain things, or being over the top or overly passionate. You know, I get it. But in the general aspect, they're doing a great service by putting the information out to the public, period, in my view. Bottom line, they're doing tremendous work putting this information out to the public, because we're not hearing it. Well, I'm not seeing it because I don't watch the news, but they're not talking about it. Fox News has been doing interviews with Reza Pahlavi and others. Yes. Because I see it on X. I don't see nothing from CNN. I definitely don't see anything from NBC now, whatever they call themselves now. I don't see it. It's Fox or News Nation. I'm not seeing it from the others. That's just being honest. I don't see it on X. So it is what it is. Anyway, Navi, have a great one. Sep, do I like what? Colony managers. Sep, we'll talk later, because I want to go watch Tusi. And I want to go watch Tusi. But we'll talk later. I'll be back later this afternoon if you're around. Like I said, about 3:30-ish my time, Eastern. I'll be back. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Be well, be blessed, be safe. Love to the people everywhere. And hopefully Iran, help is on the way, literally. I pray for that. I guess definitely something tonight will happen. We don't know. Hopefully it will. Israel's not going to say anything because they're waiting for the president to take the lead on this. Now, if Israel's silent and they're not saying, we're going to do something, that would be a signal saying that the United States is hesitating. But since Israel's so quiet, that may indicate they're waiting for the U.S. to make their move. Because Israel's been biting at the bit to hit the missile factories and storage. They've been, for like 2 months, they've been trying to go in there and hit these targets. And if they're being restrained and they're holding back, that's because there's a reason for that. It's because they're waiting to see what the president does. It makes total sense. Anyway, stay calm, I know. I get passionate like that. Anyway, all of you, my love to all of you. Be well, be blessed, be safe. I'll see everybody later. I'm going to go watch Tusi. If you want, go watch Tusi. He's